Today you're going to learn how to create an optical illusion using linear perspective. Enjoy the video. Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to do an optical illusion. So, I'm going to do one thing on one half and a different thing on the other half. So, here's an example of working with vanishing points and the knowledge of linear perspective to create an optical illusion. So it looks like things go back in space. This side was 1 point. In between is like a 2-point perspective, and then just different vanishing points all over. This one I left, I used 2 vanishing points and crisscrossed my lines, and then I put little X's with pencil for what I'm going to color in, and did 50-50 black and white. So I left this one in progress so you can see that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can put a vanishing point anywhere on your paper, somewhere close to the middle. I'll put that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an even amount of lines. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there we go. We have an even amount of lines so far. So I'm going to just now make it a little different on the outside. I'm drawing from the vanishing point to whatever I want. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, so once you have your vanishing point and you have an even amount of lines, then the next thing that you could do is you could draw shapes, any shape that you want, that overlaps your design. There we go. Now let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to put a little X. 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 Skip every one. I'm going to put an X. 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 Skip X. Skip X. And then from there what you could do is work down the line. Go X, blank, X, blank, X. So you just start working from the center out and putting a little X with your pencil. It'll create a checkerboard pattern, but you have to have all your converging lines be even. I recommend doing this because these get pretty complicated. You go around. When you do your shapes, don't have your shapes overlap. Have shape inside a shape, inside a shape, inside a shape. So this is using the knowledge of 1-point perspective to create your optical illusion. So you'll go through, like I said, if you choose to do this approach, you can even just go around the ring or around the shape as well, and that will help you determine. So X would represent black, white, black, white, black, white, black. So it'll take a while for you to do this, and you can do this on like a half sheet of paper for your optical illusion. You don't have to do a giant optical illusion for this assignment. Be creative. If you want to do something big, do something big as well. Alright, so then from there what I do, I'll just do part of this. I'll put my ruler down on the vanishing point, and then I'll draw all the outlines for this exercise. I'm just going to do part of this. But I recommend doing this phase. Again, this could be any shape that you want that overlaps. I researched some different ideas, and then what I do is I just go over it with a marker. Now, you want to use contrast for this design. So black and white design is a very high contrast design, but you could do like two complementary colors, like yellow and purple, or two complementary colors. Blue and orange are two complementary colors, and red and green are two complementary colors. All right, so I'm not going to finish all this, but I just wanted to show you how I would go through the process. All right, so now what we're going to do is on the other side, we're going to play around with multiple vanishing points. All right, so what I have on this side, I went ahead with my ruler beforehand. I divided up my paper in half, and then I put a mark at every inch. So on this exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the corners as a vanishing point. I'm going to see what happens here. So I'm going to draw from this corner. I'm going to draw to those lines over here. And another fun thing to do is you could play around with multiple vanishing points and have different vanishing points for different sections of your paper. So this one I'm going to play around with 2-point perspective. Okay, now I'm going to come from the other corner. I'm going to draw to those exact same lines. I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper since it'll be easier for me to work this way. So when you research optical illusions, you can look at a lot of famous artists like Victor Vasarely, Bridget Riley. There's a lot of YouTube videos. You can look up how to do that that way. And then also look at 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective. You could look at ground planes or floors, 1-point perspective floors or 2-point perspective floors. All right, so this creates a totally different effect. So if you do something that where you cross lines like this, my advice is to put an X on anything that touches a corner. All right, so I would go through, and anything that touches a corner would be my X. Anything that crosses a line would be my white. Or if you chose to do warm versus cool colors. So this one gets a little tricky since we have multiple vanishing points. All right, it looks like I problem solved that. Now, what can I do with this empty area? Well, I could be creative with that empty area. So this, again, what I would do with this design, I would trace out the outline, and we're gonna go over with our marker. And this is known as hard edge design as well, by the way. So sorry, I'm skipping around. So I'm gonna outline this shape. I could have used a ruler. That probably would have made more sense. But if you follow this process, this will go smoothly for you and so forth. So you can get really creative. You can get really whimsical with this and have multiple vanishing points. All right, so what can I do now? What can I do in this area? Well, think about these. Also, I could keep this and just have long stripes, for example. If I wanted just to leave that alone. So I can mark that. I could do something completely different. It's here. Okay, so maybe I incorporate this as a vanishing point. And just for fun, do this as a whole different section. I could just put marks. They don't even have to be even. This one I'm just being a little bit more structured with for fun. I'll flip this completely around since it's easier for me to draw this way. I'll use this one now as a vanishing point. So So you could actually do a full page and do like break up your part in sections as well. Now that gives me a 1-point perspective look over here. All right. And then just for fun, I'm going to draw a singular shape in here. And then what I could do from there, I can mark the outside with black, and then I could flip-flop what it's going to look like on the inside. So if this is white, that would be black. If that's black, that would be white. And alternate it. White, that would be black. All right, so I have that all marked as well. So you get really creative with this, with vanishing points. You could be really structured and do something like a radial design. You can see that this one is in progress. Again, I drew my lines, marked everything with an X for black and white very softly, as you might not be able to see it. And then this one I got really creative with. I divided my paper in half, did the 1-point perspective here. Again, you have to have an even amount of lines, and then you could draw shapes around and then mark it black and white or warm versus cool color. And this one I had multiple vanishing points, and I got creative with it, marked it with a pencil and so forth. So enjoy, be creative. Look up 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, optical illusion artist Victor Visarli and Bridget Riley. So you got a number of things that you can look up, and then be creative with vanishing points. It'll create that illusion, like this is like a hallway look, right? Or some sort of flooring look, ground plane. So it'll give that illusion of 3D space, and we're going to use high contrast with our design, either warm versus cool or black versus white, and be very clean on your edges to create hard edge shapes. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Do something amazing. Create an interesting optical illusion. Show it off. Be a good person. Have a great day. Thanks again.